take it from our desk, it is going to be a cloudy day indeed, Bren.
I mean, I think no one's going to be arguing with their predictions, to be honest. You know, the recent patch, we got Leaf, he's going to be playing on the Doomfist, maybe switching it up onto the Genji and whatever, but his signature Doomfist role has been nerfed. We're now playing on that patch. It's a different board game entirely, and Cloud9 have been looking better and better. The more games they've been playing, nobody's really going to be arguing with the across-the-board Cloud9. But honestly, it is a very close matchup. You know, I'd probably give it 40, 60% in favor of Cloud9. It's not much. GamersOrigin realistically could take this to a very close match, and they could very much take this. And we can't really underestimate as well how important this game is for the playoffs bracket, because both these teams are so hotly contested in that run-up for the playoffs in the EU side of Contenders.
No doubt about it. I mean, this is where either of these teams would love to take the match here today and go forward being mostly assured of getting into the playoffs and having an easier road. Now, the interesting thing here, which is what makes evaluating GamersOrigin just sort of 50-50, I would say, is figuring out, can they still run Doomfist effectively, where they've made it harder to play Doomfist now in this patch, where he's not quite as forgiving. And GamersOrigin, they were defined by very good Doomfist play. So what Leaf comes out here, and it's looking like he'll be the Junkrat, Bren, this could be telling.
I mean, this is what sort of the analysts were predicting. They were, assuming that he was going to be putting his emphasis here onto the Junkrat role. But again, this first match, this control on Lijiang is going to be very telling of the story now, because Cloud9 are going to be running that traditional dive composition, looking for the picks. You can see Mozaza just playing a very safe, very passive for the time being, just poking, just prodding, whereas GamersOrigin are sending in the spam. But all they need is one lucky mine, and they can't get a pick off.
We know how powerful that Junkrat burst can be, but C9, their dive goes in here once more, and it's successful. Heap is out of the fight immediately, and the casualties keep piling up, where GamersOrigin, they were hoping for that mine pickoff that you referenced, but Leaf not quite able to find it, and C9 eventually just by the book able to take that point.
Yeah, you can sort of play with the Junkrat in a very similar way to Doomfist, in the essence where you've got so much burst damage potential to just one-shot those 200 HP targets. And Mikey A goes for the pulse bomb. Did that connect? It did indeed. Bembest brought out of the fight straight away. Cloud9 looking pretty strong in this follow-up.
That was a great long-range pulse bomb coming in there from Mikey, where that was right on the edge. But hey, when you connect to Winston from long range, that's about all you're going to need, because not only did that take down Bembest, but he was near his team. That did plenty of damage to everyone else as well. So GamersOrigin right now in a bit of a rough spot, and if it was Mikey the last fight, it might be Nevix in this fight. The Dragon Blade's coming up, can be supported by a barrier. Here comes GamersOrigin. Let's see where Nevix is.
And they're all going to rotate through the side. The leap in by Mozaza. Now the Blade. Nevix running himself in 80 health. Tries to go for the Swift Strike in, but just quite misses it. Not getting too much damage done. Sambar will keep him alive for the time being as well, and the point will start to be played. GamersOrigin, however, have lost so many players that, again, they are just going to have to reset off the edge, reset the fight, take a breather, and potentially, make some switches. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the sort of Leaf Junkrat right now. He's not really having as big as an impact as he has had in the past on the Doomfist.
Well, the thing here, too, is that you're running the Junkrat on Night Market, which isn't quite as closed in as other stages can be on Control, particularly the Control Center. So far, I'm not convinced that the Junkrat right here, and they're running out of time to prove it. It's at 74%, and now we see Mikey on the flank here once more, coming in from the backside while the rest of C9 is on the front. And GamersOrigin, they have to go in now. They open with the Transcendence.
Transcendence going to be used, keeping him alive for the time being. GamersOrigin actually winning this fight out. They get 2 picks off the back of it. The point almost flipped over, and they will actually gain control of it once again. Still have a few ults to use as well. Space getting desuited will mean that Cloud9 now forced to back off, reset out of this fight, and take it another day.
One interesting thing here, though, is that C9 does have a really nice victory condition here where they have a Transcendence, GamersOrigin doesn't. They just need to regroup. However, this is pretty good for Junkrat in defense, where you have to go through these closed-in areas. Here comes the tire over the top. Is it going to run over anything? It's looking, searching, zooming around, and yes, finds Neptuno in the end.
I'm so shocked that he even managed to find a kill, because that tire was going roundabouts all the way around the point, but still, the team fight's kicking off all over the place here. Mikey A desperately searching for an opportunity, does get the D-Mech in the nick of time, 9 HP. That's going to force the self-destruct out of themselves. Now we see them getting back into the mechs. Now to refight here. As we see ZP, the Sandbar is going to be used. Nevix using the Dragon Blade to not much avail.
Well, he's trying to cut through that Diva armor if nothing else, and eventually it does work out. Poco is demeched, and C9, nothing too flashy here, able to use the Transcendence, comes back in, retakes the point. GamersOrigin didn't have a lot left in the tank to deal with that, and now they're really out of time here, Bren. They're down to their final 10%. They just have to rush out here, somehow avoid C9 splash damage, and get to the point. But Mikey, he's coming in for the backline, and this could be huge.
This could be absolutely massive. He has the pulse bomb, but they don't even need it. Heap has immediately fallen down. The point's starting to get played. Nobody's on it. Doesn't quite get flipped over as they do manage to just find themselves on it. Pulse bomb sent down. Doesn't find the targets. Overtime still ticking over. GamersOrigin desperately trying to find a way into this fight. But again, not going to be working out for them, and it will be round number 1 going to Cloud9 here.
The interesting thing I thought here about the Junkrat, Bren, is that if GamersOrigin had gotten control and then they could have used the Junkrat really aggressively when C9 was moving out, that's actually favorable for Junkrat.
Yeah.
But it looks like we are going to have a pause here. It's not just us staying at 0-0 forever. So perhaps a little bit of technical difficulties.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the Leaf Junkrat, I think, in that entire composition. That really just didn't speak to me, especially for the Night Garden section, because it doesn't really fit it. It's not as close quarters as, say, Control Center. Yeah, it's difficult, but what you do in that scenario when Doomfist has been nerfed, you know, Leaf can play other heroes, and he is trying to flex out of that role. Would you have preferred to have seen him on like something like a Genji or, you know, what other heroes?
I would have preferred to see him on anything other than Junkrat, but even, truth be told, I mean, even though Doomfist has been nerfed, I do wonder if players are knee-jerking a little bit to that, where we've seen cases where you have a really powerful hero, it gets toned down a little bit, and then it takes players another month or so to realize, wait, this hero might still be really good. So, I mean, I would have been interested to see Leaf try out the Doomfist here, but perhaps in scrims and otherwise, he tried to play a post-patch and it didn't quite work out.
I still think Doomfist is actually quite good because they haven't exactly nerfed his one-shot potential or whatever. It's literally just harder to hit, and you can now see Leaf, he's teasing with the idea of sticking onto this Doomfist role. The question is, ZP, and I think it's on everyone's mind right now, is if you could be any animal, what would you be?
If I could be any animal, a zebra. I would love to be Flash.
Really?
Dude,
that's not what I was expecting at all.
It wasn't what you were expecting. Listen, I mean, you've already seen some of the suits that I wear. The zebra, he gets that naturally, man. He doesn't have to pay a tailor. He just like comes out and he's flashy.
I thought you'd be like a predator, you know, like a lion.
You know what? I would try and just be faster than my other fellow zebras and run away. That's my thing. But we do have Leaf coming in here in the Doomfist. It's a wide open area, but he's going to try and make it work as C9. They go quickly, but Neptuno gets socked in the face.
That's exactly what they were looking for. That one-shot potential, the uppercut as well into Nevix will bring him down. And this is really what GamersOrigin were looking for, you know? And Leaf really showing us that Doomfist can still work. It's funny because he was saying beforehand, you know, in interviews and whatnot, that he really feels that the changes made to Doomfist will kill him off out of the competitive scene. But Leaf is here right now making it work. And they're already not quite getting the point just yet. It's still being played. It's been turned around. Whoa! What is going on here, Leaf? I don't know what the heck's happening. Nevix picks up 2 kills, or I should say brings down Leaf, but Leaf with the uppercut, taking down 2 people and getting the D-Mech at the same time.
Rising uppercut indeed, but is it going to be enough? C9 is still fighting this one back. It's hardly decisive for either side. Mikey still in on the outskirts, moving for heat, assisted by the Primal Rage, but the barrier comes in. GamersOrigin doubling down, and Neptuno, he's been punched in the mouth like twice now. Rough times for Neptuno here versus Leaf, and Leaf, nerfs or no, he's been using this Doomfist to control a lot of room, and he might fall here, but the damage has been done.
Yeah, well, still Mikey A now. It's a 1v1 scenario. Poco on the point. You see Pipu trying to help him out, but now the fight's still kicking off here. Mikey A still alive on the point, just putting in this consistent damage. Gonna bring these players down. A pesky defense matrix going to be eating up a lot of these bullets. And might I remind you, ladies and gentlemen, this is still the first team fight of the game, still kicking off between them. Nevix now built up this tactical visor. He unleashes it, but he's not going to get any value out of it, and it will be GamersOrigin getting that initial round, that initial checkpoint.
All right, let's take a look at Leaf. This is how he uppercuts and immediately dies. But hey, got gray, got space.
That's crazy.
Why not? It's still entirely worth. So, GamersOrigin, going back to what they've been known for here in Contenders here, where they're using the Doomfist, and nerfs or no, it's worked out better for them. They got first control of the point, and it's clearly more of their comfort zone. We'll see what C9 does to respond here, as they do have both support ult up.
There's a lot of damage being put onto them immediately. Self-destruct sent into the sky. The Meteor Strike's going to be forced out of Leaf there, I believe. And the pulse one from Mike A tries to even it out, but the kills are thoroughly in the way of GamersOrigin right now, as they are just flooding it right now. The kill feed is a sea of blue. and they are finding these picks. A lot of ults used by Cloud9 to try and reclaim this one, and they got nothing from it.
So one thing I'm going to say for C9 here, why are you fighting a Doomfist in a building?
Yeah, questionable.
You have all this wide open area. It's a vast garden expanse. And you go, no, let's fight Doomfist in the building. This is clearly going to be a good idea. Please, take this fight in the open. Don't give Leaf easy punches. But now they move back in with the barrier.
And the barrier's going to be used by both these teams. They try and take it forward. Still damage being done. Already, Mozaza has fallen. The main tank going to be missing now from this Cloud9 roster. Leaf still searching for these kills. The seismic slam brings down Mikey A. This goes for Nevix as well. Won't quite connect it, but still a lot of cap time already here for Cloud9. And GamersOrigin actually end up losing this team fight here.
Well, they're on the losing end, but Poco's in very good health. He can delay this out for a while. He'll buy more time to self-destruct. The question is, can he live right after? He's under... Oh, no, absolutely not.
I think that's fair.
Crunched.
Yeah.
Still fine, though. I mean, you take a look at this here. C9, they get their first control of the map. They still have a long way to go. Meanwhile, for GamersOrigin, Poco saved the self-destruct, so he can clear out room over the sky. And what does that do, Bren? That makes you take cover in an indoor area where Leaf, if he comes in, he could get a rocket punch kill right off the self-destruct. But Nevix, he takes the initiative.
Dragon Blade out, brings down Heap almost immediately. The damage is being done here. So we see Poco is going to be immediately brought down out of the mech once again. But Leaf is causing all sorts of issues in the backlines. But still, Nevix answers back with another kill onto Leaf with the swift strike. GamersOrigin is still attempting to fight this, but now resetting as Mendez will be brought down towards the tail end of it.
One really important part there is that Gray was one of the people that died in that assault, which means he's not going to have the Transcendence up immediately for the next fight. It's going to be on the razor's edge, but GamersOrigin, in theory, has a really nice window here where they can just drop the self-destruct over the top and do the setup supported by the Transcendence, but with people going down early, they're already in a hole.
Yeah, I mean, that initial pick is going to set things up very nicely right now for the side of Cloud9 to really try and secure this defense, but Leaf, he answers back immediately. Neptuno brought down 81%, so he's not going to be having his ult realistically, or not going to be building it up, but still, these kills coming in. The D-Mech as well. Leaf comes down with a Meteor Strike, but he does not get anything from it. Mikey A still alive, just darting around the map, just putting in the consistent damage, just being that team player, holding onto the pulse bomb for the time being.
While that was going on, Hardest was able to get a good amount of free progress here on the point. Now GamersOrigin moving back in. Relatively even between the two. Malzasa realizing this Primal Rage to clear out some space. Benbest is down, but now both Winston's out of the fight as this is turning into an outright brawl. 82% to 82%, but Leaf doesn't care about your beat. Punches Mikey right into the wall.
Unbelievable stuff. Nevix still desperately trying to build up this blade, but he's 81 HP, has to back off, and Leaf already building up another Meteor Strike, lays it down, doesn't find the kill, but he will eventually get that follow-up, getting the D-Mech in the process. Now we see as well a lot of damage being done to them as Marzaza falls the other time, just burning, but GamersOrigin get the reflip.
And look at the advantage that Leaf had there, Bren, when the fight took place in that rotunda there.
Oh, yeah.
Close quarters. Any rocket punch he was throwing out had a very good chance of hitting. So far right now in the Garden stage, GamersOrigin has been getting way better positioning in these fights for the composition that they're running.
Interesting to note that Gray actually switched to the Sombra a lot earlier, and the EMP was being committed. He's already built it up, and that's going to set Cloud9 up absolutely beautifully. Already 3 kills off. No ultimate's been able to get off from GamersOrigin in the slightest. The overtime ticks down. Poco desperately trying to build his way out of this. The self-destruct gets sent out, but I can't imagine he's going to be picking up any kills at all. And indeed, with this reflip coming out, 99% and counting, Cloud9.
Hardest. Can you make it? Can he touch it? No, not quite.
Cloud9, they're going to be taking map number 1 here, ZP. And I mean, that was so incredibly close between these two teams. And I think it does show that even though Doomfist has been nerfed, Leaf is still very capable in that role.
I just wonder how the first map would have gone if Leaf just had more confidence in running the Doomfist there to begin with.
True. Yeah.
One thing that I think is going to be very interesting, though, as we move forward into the next map, which will be hybrid, is that we saw from the FNR GFE games yesterday that Junkrat can be incredibly effective. Just very, very strong right now. So I'm curious to see if they break that out moving forward and if C9 can feel comfortable doing it in turn, because a team that can run Junkrat when the other team can't, that can be a big edge right now. I
could definitely see it on certain maps, Nimbani in particular. You can really get a lot of damage done. The mines, you know, because of the angle of attack, basically, where they get sent straight over in an arc, you can really do some damage in that first point attacks, even first point defense. So I could foresee it, for sure, with Leaf at least. He feels confident pulling it out in the first initial round of Lijiang. You know, who knows? We'll probably be seeing it later on.
All right, guys, we're going to be heading to a quick break. When we come back, map number 2 will be underway, and we'll find some answers to those questions. We are back with Overwatch Contenders Season 1 EU, GamersOrigin versus Cloud9, Bren. And so far, it's looking like it's going to be a close one. Of course, both these teams 2-2 heading into this, and a lot of playoff implications at stake. But C9 coming out on top for map number 1.
Yeah, super important game. Cloud9 coming out on top in map number 1. I think they're going to be breathing a bit of a sigh of relief, really, because Lijiang Tower, out of all the control maps that it possibly could have been, really suits, I think, GamersOrigin's playstyle the best. The sort of tank-based Doomfist compositions that they like to play. So them taking that, you know, stealing away themselves a map win is really going to help them, I think, with the confidence coming into this next game. But we're going to be heading into Numbani. That's the map pick here for GamersOrigin. And we'll soon see if GamersOrigin want to be sticking with similar compositions. But I imagine they are going to be sticking with Leaf on the Doomfist. You know, Numbani is a map where you can... we were talking, you know, before the break about how we could foresee potentially Leaf using the Junkrat a lot more often here if it goes to Numbani. But in this case, it's looking like he might be sticking with the Doomfist itself, which, again, I'm not going to argue against, because Numbani, there's a lot of high ground, a lot of room for opportunities to get those one-shots with the Rocket Punch, a lot of close quarters. There's lots of tight corridors for you to really do a lot of damage.
There is definitely room for Doomfist here, and we've seen it be effective in the past. We just haven't seen too much of it post-patch. But yeah, what is going on here?
No, they're trolling us. This isn't real.
I think Mazasa is really coming out the Orisa here.
No, he's not. There's no way. Look,
he is.
They're going back to spawn.
No, he's not. You're right.
I was like, there's no way this is happening. He's just, what was he going to do? Just cement himself in the corner?
It would have been great. I mean, it hasn't a great track record, but no. All right, Sanity has returned.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Orisa has had some buffs in recent times, but we're going to be rolling out now as both these teams are going to get ready. GamersOrigin on the attack, and they are running the Doomfist. Leaf going to be on that roll, but it's going to be very much dive compositions being ran by both these teams. Cloud9 with the double hit scan, whereas GamersOrigin going to be putting hardest on that Soldier's MD6. One
big benefit of the Doomfist here is that you have to concede high ground when you go over here. You don't want to be standing on this tiny area and get punched in the face. However, C9, they're going to take this to a more open area. The first punch, it's going to miss for GamersOrigin, but look at that. A beautiful dive in, followed by the uppercut, and Nevix is down. And already GamersOrigin is putting themselves on the right foot, as they won't have the Soldier to really lay in the damage from afar.
He doesn't need the, he doesn't need the pre-nerf Doomfist Rocket Punch to do damage. That's the magical thing about watching Leaf on the Doomfist, because he utilizes the entire toolkit of that hero to its full effectiveness. And it honestly is showing that it is still an incredibly strong hero to be playing here. And GamersOrigin, in a rapid fashion, going to be taking that first checkpoint at point A. Now going to be rolling it through the Streets phase now. 5.5 minutes CP for them to do some damage.
Tales of Doomfist's demise might have been greatly exaggerated indeed, as so far, even though Leaf didn't have confidence to play it back in round 1, he's seemingly pretty confident with it now. But we are rolling into a pause. So far here, Bren, we thought GamersOrigin might stray away from the Doomfist, and
we did.
So far, they've gone back to what's worked for them, and you look at early Numbani, it's been working quite well.
I'm a fan. I mean, I'm a big fan of this one, but this is... It's the question is now, how is it going to work in the Streets phase? Because the Streets phase are a lot more open compared to that first checkpoint, and really that's the question mark on my mind, is how we're going to be seeing these two teams battle out, and how Cloud9 are going to be adjusting their playstyle towards it. You can already see they've made the switch. Nevix now on the Genji as opposed to the Soldier 76, so they are taking into account the sort of high ground effect that the Streets phase has.
Well, the other thing here too is that you think about favorite targets for a Doomfist. The Doomfist really likes taking close quarters brawls with the 76, so yeah. I think swapping to the Genji here is in part reaction. And what a nice sleep! Nap time for Leaf into the back, courtesy of Gray, and that gives C9 the advantage. They're going to use the sound barrier here and really try to just win this fight outright. And with Leaf down, we'll see if they get more, but I don't know if they need the barrier here. In fact, it hasn't really worked out that well for them.
A little bit questionable, because the barrier only connected onto 4 of them, but Nevix is answering back. He's in the back lines, but the reflect, he will bring down Keep as well. So Cloud9 are going to be winning this initial team fight like they were hoping for, but that was looking a bit scrappy there, because like you mentioned, the sound barrier probably didn't have to be committed there. Only connects onto 4 targets, didn't really negate anything, because GamersOrigin, they didn't really use any ults to try and do damage other than Bembest's own Primal Rage. So realistically, GamersOrigin are going to be happy with this one, because now they're going into the next fight with an ult advantage.
They're going in and they have the barrier at the ready. C9 would love for them to use it here, and they do. They had to use it because of the pressure, and they get heaped down really early. C9, a beautiful engagement, basically causes the barrier to be used somewhat erroneously here, where they get 3 kills. The barrier doesn't really matter, and C9 have brought themselves right back into this in terms of ultimate economy.
I mean, GamersOrigin could have just been happy there to hold on to that sound barrier, use it at a better team fight, but Pipu, he committed to it. Unfortunately, the rest of his team were falling around him, and now Cloud9 are sitting with actually a very good situation, because now we see Nevix with the Dragon Blade. Listen up, but he's brought down immediately. Leaf answers it back with the uppercut, bringing him down. No more Dragon Blade for this fight here, ZP.
The fist is greater than the sword, and C9 really needed that Dragon Blade to do more than that as GamersOrigin catches them off guard. After Nevix goes down, C9 was overextended, and they just get punched, they get rocked, they get socked. A clean team fight here for GamersOrigin, and now they might be able to ride this all the way to the second. C9, if they do come out here, Bren, it's going to be a little bit touch and go. They won't have great positioning, and they don't really have ults to back it up either.
Yeah, and I look at this Leaf as well. He's assumed a high ground position right now. We're not watching Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith right now, because they are going to be leading it in straight down, and Leaf has found the initial kill down to Marzaza. The Meteor Strike comes down. Gray going to be meeting his maker as he's brought down almost immediately, and Cloud9 actually committing the nano boost there onto space to try and stall this one out, but it's not going to be good enough. The damage is far too much. Overwhelming power and authority from GamersOrigin. They don't lose a single player here, ZP.
One thing Doomfist is really good at shutting down are those dives from the team where they're under time pressure and they just have to throw themselves on a point, because what are you doing? You're giving Leaf plenty of good targets there early on, whether it be for the rocket punch or just diving in and crowd controlling people. So that was a really nice situation for GamersOrigin, and it gets even better. They have 2 support ultimates versus 0. They might really be turning up the heat.
Well, here we have it. A self-destruct by Poco connects. Space brought down now. It's going to be out of the fight for the time being. Cloud9 already losing so many players now as well. Important to note that Marzaza actually switched off the Winston and is going to be moving over to the Rhine, and Space now finally making the switch over to the Zarya in the final moments here of this team fight. In the final checkpoint here, GamersOrigin with 3 minutes on the clock here, ZP. They're pushing it in, and they've got 2 defensive support ults.
This is so good for GamersOrigin. This is their window to set a lightning fast Nimbani time. They've already gotten past this death corner here, where the defense usually has a big edge on positioning. C9, they have to try and fight back to retake that right now, and they're going to have to do it through superior power. However, GamersOrigin is waiting a long time here. They've already let C9 build up the barrier, and Gray might have a transcend soon, but now they take the initiative, they move in, and they get Marzaza immediately.
The uppercut straight into Marzaza, deleting him from the equation. And with these kills followed up, GamersOrigin, they executed it almost perfectly. We see the Transcendence coming out by Cloud9 in the final moments. Gray just trying to stall this out to the best of his abilities, but he just gets absolutely knocked around all over the map. And 0.32 meters left remaining. Is it going to be moving in? Not going to be good enough. GamersOrigin, they get 2.5 minutes on the clock, and they complete it all the way in Nimbani. A very impressive time.
The Doomfist play from Leaf. Absolutely excellent at multiple parts there in the game, whether it be the initiation, where just his mere presence gave GamersOrigin high ground, let Hardest take control in the beginning, or it's whether you look at second, where GamersOrigin was moving forward with momentum and C9 just having to rush in gave Leaf great opportunities. Either way, I mean, he might be nerfed a little bit, but he worked out very well for them there.
Yeah, I mean, Leaf, you can really tell he's put time into this hero on Doomfist. I mean, it might just seem like we are just only talking about Leaf here, but it is almost a Leaf show, you know, because GamersOrigin, that is their playstyle. They've built it around this one player on this one role. And you can see whenever they play on that, the Doomfist, even though he's received the nerfs, they're much more comfortable when it comes to it. But ZP, question on my mind is, would you live in Nimbani?
Would I live in Nimbani?
I asked Sideshow this, and he was like, well, I don't know what facilities Nimbani has. And I was like, what kind of answer is that?
I'm not that forward
It's a
thinking.
super city.
I go for the more superficial things, like, is Lucio in concert? And unfortunately, when you take a look at the different signs there, Lucio's no longer in concert. So my reasoning to go live there is just way less now.
I mean, he'd probably visit again. You don't just choose where you're living based on concerts, surely.
No, he's not. So, look, I know Lucio's agent, and the backstory there is that he did request nothing but blue M&Ms, and they gave him a few green M&Ms. And
that's it.
That's just not his jam. He's done. He's never coming back to Nimbani.
That's an excellent reference right there. Do you know the actual reasoning for that? About the brown M&Ms?
The brown M&Ms. It's just, have you actually read the rider? Like, will you give them?
Yeah. It's so they knew if their contracts were being fulfilled and all the safety requirements were being met. Pretty interesting bit of trivia there. I've completely forgotten the band name, but that doesn't matter because we're watching Overwatch. So
we're watching
Cloud9 versus GamersOrigin, and you're completely correct. Torbjorn on Nimbani. We're not a stranger to this sort of composition, but it's very risky. If it doesn't work out initially, GamersOrigin could be in a bit of trouble.
All right, GamersOrigin betting heavily here on this Torbjorn.
Whoa,
See if it
Gray
works
on
out.
Doomfist as well.
Yeah, there's all sorts of swap ups here as Gray goes right in, looks for the Ana, and is able to get it there at the aid of Mozasa. Very nice dive in here from C9, but also punished by Hardest, who is in the back. So GamersOrigin striking back. And remember, this is one of the hybrid maps where there's no big spawn advantage for either side here, where the defenders actually have a bit of an edge in getting back.
It's important to note because Numbani is the one map where if you trade kills equally, getting these one-to-one kills, it actually doesn't favor either side, as you mentioned. And now the kills are flowing in for either side right now. Pipu's still alive in the fight, building up these armor packs, building up the momentum. Cloud9 trying to fight their way back into this, but they're very weak. Trying to bring down that turret as well. They will essentially just focus it down. Maximus now. GamersOrigin moving in. Nevix cleaning up all over the place. Swift strikes for days. Definitely putting in the damage, and he's almost built up a Dragon Blade here, ZP.
What I find interesting here is that for Cloud9, they only see Doomfist as something that they run for quick opening gambits. Like, we have seen them run the Doomfist here in the Bonnie before. We weren't sure if we would see it this patch. But as soon as they got the early opening setup, Gray immediately swapped to the 76. But to his credit, by the way,
he's sticking.
No, more than that, he has 74% ult charge. He ripped things up on the follow-through after his first life, which you don't always see. So now C9 is working with a bit of momentum here moving forward. We'll see if it works out as Mikey just gets thrown into the trash.
Nevix, Dragon Blade unleashed, close quarters. That's not a scenario you want to be in right now, GamersOrigin, but with the damage done, the cleanup is there. Cloud9 can definitely put in the work, and GamersOrigin have already lost 3 members of their team. Moving this in, Leaf goes for the shot down onto Gray there. The rocket punch, not going to be actually getting the kill that he's looking for, but immediate strike, almost connecting. Gray so we're getting rammed down. Leaf desperately hunting for that kill, will find it, goes for the rocket punch onto Mikey A, but won't find that one.
One thing we're seeing here over and over again is that GamersOrigin, even though they're getting a few kills, they're not really coming close to winning the fight, and all they're doing is getting minor amounts of delay. But they've also fed C9 a lot of power for this next fight, so this is going to be very difficult for GamersOrigin if they don't get an early pickoff from, say, Hardest or Heap or otherwise, because C9, they just have overwhelming power right now. But we'll see what happens. As Mikey to the back, pulse bomb in, and the fight is underway.
Primal Rage going to be committed there, I believe, by the side of Mozaza. He's going to be moving in with the sound barrier as well. Committed. Cloud9 really trying to take this fight to the fullest extent that it possibly can be. And just a quick note as well, Gray still on this Soldier 76. He's not switching to the flex support role. He did consider it just for a moment, but this overwhelming damage, this composition that Cloud9 are running provides so much damage with the Helix rocket, you know, just the consistent burst damage from the high ground. The Cloud9 are just happy to just roll this all the way in.
And for C9, they knew they had the momentum going in, so they were okay with giving up some of the healing that you would get if you were running a more standard setup that had 2 supports. For Gray, if they get stuffed here on this first attack onto last, I would expect him to go back to a flex support like, say, Zenyatta. But he does want to use his tac visor, and you're just going to see him go in the flank here. The rest of C9's coming up the front. Gray, he's moving around the backside here, and he's going to try and maximize the chances that this does well, and there it is.
Well, he's forced out the Transcendence at least, and that will do a bit of damage now for the ult economy of GamersOrigin, but they are finding these one-to-one trades. And remember, we're at that point in the game, Nevix now using the Dragon Blade, reflect into the flashbang, actually brings down the Hardest. In the midst of it, these kills, they're flowing now for Cloud9. This is absolutely excellent stuff from them, and this cart, it should continue to move forward.
And let's talk about what this means right now. GamersOrigin, they don't have the defensive advantage anymore. They're about to get capped onto the yellow box of victory in incredibly fast time. They have to get the payload. Move! They get on it, finally! Oh, that was close. But now Leaf has the Meteor Strike. Perhaps a little bit of stability here as both Nevix and Gray are out of it.
I almost had a heart attack there. I thought we were going to see another, like, Immortal situation or something. I don't know what we were going to be seeing, because when you don't time that perfectly, it just completely backfires. They just cap it for free. And GamersOrigin, thank goodness that they managed to coordinate that correctly and actually managed to get to the point. Pipu with the crucial sound barrier at the exact right time, forcing Cloud9 out of the fight. So they do get an opportunity to just hold on to this defense for the time being.
And this is really big, right? Where you look at where GamersOrigin is holding. They're holding more further up, but not quite as far as they would like to here, in fact. Because the payload's so far back, they don't get the really good defensive Nabani positioning. And now, C9 barrier and self-destruct initiation pushing GamersOrigin back. Leaf already out of the fight.
Whoa! Hardest picking up the triple kill right when it counts. I don't think Cloud9 were expecting that in the slightest. They thought they were safe and dandy, but not the case. And look at this, Hardest, he wants more. He's a greedy boy, you know, he's a growing lad. He wants the kills. Bembest with the fire strike into the backline. Space will get demech'd and desuited, and he's down. Cloud9 now burnt down to a similar time the GamersOrigin are on.
That's really tough for C9. That was their window because now...
What a bubble. What a bubble.
Look
that
at
is
that.
crazy. Oh my goodness. Poco, an absolutely critical barrier at the exact right time with the post bomb. Mikey almost got a double kill into both the tanks, and he just saved it with that one combo play.
And now C9, they're trying to make something out of nothing here. They get through the Graviton. Mendez now is actually have to land a very good Earth Shatter here. There's the Shatter. I think it only got one. He's nano boosted, but just getting crushed. Hardly any support there as Nevix tears through the supports into the back. Nevix has decimated the GamersOrigin backline, and C9, unrelenting aggression, might be giving them this point. And
What
it's
an
high noon.
opening.
Not anymore.
I mean, yeah, high noon, he's brought down. Nevix will bring him down in the end. Now to Transcendence, Pipu, the last man standing in the car, will start to move forward slowly but surely. And Cloud9, they get 2 minutes on the clock. They do complete Numbani. But GamersOrigin, I mean, I was praising Poco with his shield placement, but the aggression, the over-aggression by GamersOrigin really hurt them there because Cloud9 were able to capitalize in the backlines with Nevix's Dragon Blade.
So let's break that down to more technical terms. It was good micro play there from Poco to survive that situation, but he shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with, because you think about GamersOrigin there, going into that sequence of events, they did have a really large ultimate advantage, particularly in control ultimates from their tanks. Poco didn't need to be that far out when C9 was still respawning. You want to wait, get a bigger team fight, get more value from your grav, and be in a situation where your team is ready to support it. Poco got surprised by the amount of people diving on him, felt the need to panic grab there, and even though the micro play might have saved him, the macro play there was really... GamersOrigin didn't need to be there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's not out of the ordinary when teams have such an overwhelming advantage when it comes to the Graviton Surge and the Earth Shatters. They do play quite aggressive on that third point of Numbani. They play round the corner, but that was too far forward because GamersOrigin completely got caught off guard. Like you mentioned, you know, we keep saying it. You know, Mikey's pulse bomb, great micro play by Poco to use the barriers at the precise time to save the tanks, but ultimately it just caught them off guard, used the Graviton Surge early, and cost them that round to a degree. But now we're seeing again the sides to switch. Cloud9 are going to be on the attack, and Pipu once again will be on that Tourbillon, but this time Cloud9 are not going to be running Grey on the Doomfist like they were initially. They're keeping them on the Flex support. They're keeping me on the Zenyatta.
We go back to earlier matches for C9. This is exactly what they've done before, right? Where they only run that once because they think it's sort of a surprise strategy.
Right.
Now they're going more standard. They're going up the left, trying to control this, but GamersOrigin, they just want to stand and fight here at this the Tourbillon in the back. So this might be a little bit of a standoff here while C9 looks for the right way in.
How did Pipu's turret get the kill onto Grey there? I am thoroughly perplexed by that move, but look at this Space still trying to cause all sorts of damage. GamersOrigin had a player advantage, but they've completely beefed it in the process, taking the fight into Cloud9's territory. And now with a huge player advantage, Cloud9 can allow themselves to play the point to a degree and to start to take it slowly. But ZP, there is an opportunity here for GamersOrigin to recontest if they choose to.
GamersOrigin taking a look at where they're at. Are they going to try and take this? They're looking for it, and they do. They dive in. It's a risky gambit, but Leaf does get Grey early on. Unfortunately, the divers of Winston and Doomfist down early. C9 in full control, and now GamersOrigin really should consider a retreat, but they're still going in for better or for worse, even though C9, they're not even damaged right now.
Yeah, but fighting realistically to the bitter end there. Cloud9 now just building up a lot of ultimates. Pipu's just going to be trying to play and buy as much time onto the point as he possibly can, but as the last few kills will flow now, Leaf as well, leaping in, and it will be the cap eventually for Cloud9 here, 30 seconds on the clock. And GamersOrigin, I gotta say, I think the misplay there with the recontest was Poco not going in with Leaf with the defense matrix, because when you don't have the defense matrix to protect you, you get brought down so quickly. And as a result, look at this snowball effect now by Cloud9. So many ultimates online here, ZP. 5 online for them for the time being. Grey making the switch to Soldiers MD6, and they're showing no signs of slowing down.
So let's break this down here. GamersOrigin, they were going for the stall there because there is a limited amount of time, but they've given C9 all the tools they need to not care about time anymore.
Yeah.
This is C9's fight to win and then some. GamersOrigin, short of getting an early Doomfist pick, has very few outs to win this fight, and C9, they don't even want to give the opportunity. They open up the barrier, and already things are looking good for them.
And they move into it, but Leaf gets a double seismic slam, I should say the double uppercut, but at the end of the day, does it realistically matter when Cloud9 are just utilizing everything at their disposal? Nevix with the Dragon Blade, the Pulse Bomb committed by Mikey A. And it will be, once again, another team wipe here. Overtime still ticking, but they're on the cart, moving it forward, and it's about to reach point B.
And this is the scary part about Numbani, particularly when you get into overtime, is that you can get crazy overtime pushes. Even though GamersOrigin, especially with the Meteor Strike coming online, is going to have good options to sort of corral C9 and stop them after second, it will be after second. We're in overtime, and this is a very large degree of push coming in from C9, so already they can be happy for this. GamersOrigin, they go to stop this right now.
They're taking the initiative. Space balls, the kills are flowing. GamersOrigin already find 4 off the back of it. The Meteor Strike, again, just a cherry on top as the overtime it burns. And Cloud9, they'll get away with 5 points on the board here. GamersOrigin, they've got 2.5 minutes to try and match them or beat them here to claim Numbani away from them.
I actually think that's a fairly good defense there from GamersOrigin in terms of the second phase.
It could have been worse, could have been much worse, yeah.
Well, the thing is that if they get momentum going the second, getting to that yellow box there is actually much easier than if it was a little bit into the underpass. They don't have to worry about the underpass game as much because they decided to be more aggressive, they took a calculated risk, and they took the fight a little bit outside the typical defensive grounds of Numbani.
Yeah.
So if they're able to get through first, they could find that that risk they took will pay off rather handsomely indeed.
I actually believe that completely took Cloud9 off guard with them taking the aggressive stance with that defense, at least. Where as soon as they captured the second checkpoint, Cloud9 were automatically in the mode where they're like, okay, they're not going to fight us until we get around to this U-bend, right? Because that's what most teams do. They don't go for that aggressive forward hold. It's incredibly risky. But GamersOrigin, it pays off. They stopped them just short of that third checkpoint, I should say, just after the second checkpoint. And now we see the side switch. So Cloud9 on the defense. Again, this 2-2-2 dive composition. They're going to be running the hit scan. They might be making a switch here. Neptuno, he's going to be looking for the Sombra. Okay. Neptuno, standout Sombra player as well as Gray. Cloud9 have actually one of the few teams that can run multiple players with the Sombra. They look like they want to be trying to take it to them and potentially getting this full hold.
The thing here about the Sombra play is that Sombra is a great gamble to take when you want to have a long hold on first. However, if they lose the early fight on first because she has less punching power early on, that could be very bad for C9, where it could just lead to GamersOrigin getting game-winning momentum. So this is a really big risk right now for C9. This makes this first fight for them even more important than it is normally.
Okay, Seismic Slam almost bringing down Neptuno, but ZP, there you have it. You said how important that first initial fight is for Cloud9, and they win it overwhelmingly. So Neptuno is going to be already on 80% of his EMP, and this is looking like a sticky situation for GamersOrigin because now they have to fight into this EMP for the next team fight.
This is really difficult. This is where, for C9, they took a risk on the early Sombra, but it's paid off in spades. Now GamersOrigin has to play the, oh, are we going to get EMP'd game? However, Doomfist sometimes does have to play that game. If you get the early pickoff, it might not matter as much. So for C9, #1 priority here, don't get punched in the face by Leaf, even as he goes for the high ground. Neptuno low, but he's able to get out.
Oh, and he's got the EMP as well. That health pack picked up already, though. Cloud9, they're so weak. Space has been desuited. That could be critical for them. Mozaza brought down. The EMP will be committed here, and there should be a few kills followed up for them. Leaf desperately searching for that kill onto Nevix, but Nevix, he wins the 1v1, even with Poco helping him out in the process. Poco now brought down to a bitter end. And GamersOrigin, they only have a minute on the board to try and get something done here. Neptuno, I mean, him surviving in that critical scenario and building up the EMP just then just saved Cloud9.
If GamersOrigin is going to win this map, it will be in a crazy overtime push, but to even get to the moment of an overtime push, they have to have a successful attack here on first. And how are they going to do that successful attack? Well, they might have to hope that Poco picks up 1 or 2 off the self-destruct. They're going up the left side. Mikey's in hot pursuit. He has Heap in his sights. Pulse bomb out. Does it connect? No, it's nowhere close. Meanwhile, the fight is underway, and GamersOrigin has already struck deeply. It's 2 for 2 right now so far.
Well, the self-destruct Poco as well commits it out. Doesn't find the kills that he's looking for here. Cloud9 still going to be trying to fight this battle out, but Leaf with the double kill. Mikey A going to be made into mincemeat against the sidewalk of Numbani for the time being. Bembest follows it up, and ZP, this is looking promising for him right now. Neptuno, however, he's close to the EMP, but is he going to get an opportunity to use it?
For this first fight, it might be ill-advised, because now, here's for C9. They can back up a bit here. All they need to do to take this map is win 1 more fight. This is fine when you have an EMP. So you're fine giving this up now. You look at the time, you go, okay, 1 fight, how do we do this? Let Neptuno take his time and look for the perfect engagement.
Oh,
they're engaging it here, and I don't know if they need to. This isn't the best spot to engage. Mousasa gives up his life for nothing. Guys, you only need to win 1 more fight. Stop doing crazy things.
Nah, who's used onto Mikey A to try and stall it out. They use so many ults for that one, and they don't actually get much from it. The Nano Boost was committed from Gray. He might be looking to switch over to the Zen or something. They might just, yeah, indeed. So that's the reason he used the Nano Boost there in that scenario onto Mikey A, because they wanted to switch to the Zen. They've still got Neptuno with the EMP. It's not all over just yet, ZP. But I will say, look at his tech moves by Leaf as well. It's just so fantastic how he knows his hero inside and out, how you can just surf off these angles.
It's really cool mobility coming out for him, but this is where I just wonder if C9 really knows their victory conditions here, because they just charged up GamersOrigin. Now this next fight is more in question. They still have the EMP out there.
What? I don't believe it!
How? What?
I don't believe what I've just seen! Oh, no. What is that?
I've seen a lot of teams get off the point for no reason. I can't. My mind is broke.
To be fair, that's not as bad as some of the ones we've seen in the past. It's not as bad, I swear. It's not that bad. It's a little bit bad.
It's that bad.
It's a little bit bad.
Your word means nothing. It's terrible.
It's not as bad as what Immortals did, because they were trying to avoid the EMP, so they had a reason for it. Okay, they had a reason, but it's still inexcusable. Oh, I mean, gobsmacked, I think is the term for both of us here. How would you let that happen?
I don't know. You know what?
So winnable, ZP. That was actually so winnable. Now that I think back to it, they had so many ultimates.
They had so much power.
Oh, my goodness.
You know what? This is where I'm glad, or actually, no, I would actually like to rip into this some more. But you know what? That's the job of our desk. We're going to take a break. When we come back, they get to explain to you why that happened.